Happy Scorpio New Moon, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host today, Brooke, and how you feeling? Are y'all doing all right? We made it through this Taurus full moon cycle. What a ride. How are you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. Are you ready for this Scorpio new moon? I was getting ready to record, and I was really thinking about, okay, what do I want to talk about? And there's one song in particular that kept coming up. Um, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. And I was like, yep, that's it. I'm tapped into that Scorpio energy. So, we're going to be having this new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees, and it is going to be the second new moon at 28 degrees out of six. So, last year we had, was it the new moons that were all at 9 degrees? And we were moving into the 9 year, and they finished right around the Pisces time period, or was it the full moons? I'd have to go back and look. I have to go back and look. I like to get things right, so let's look at my calendar. Oh, it was the new moons. Yeah, it was the new moons. They were all at 9 degrees, and we were moving into a 9 year. So now all the new moons are at 28 degrees. Isn't that awesome? And we had five last year, and we got six this year. So this is a Mars and Pluto ruled new moon. So it's going to have a very Martin Plutonic feeling to it. And the moon is in fall in Scorpio. So it's not really happy here. It can almost be too much for the moon. The moon's very sensitive. The moon's very intuitive. And when you get it in deep, dark Scorpio, it can be very intense. So, a little bit about Scorpio energy. As you know, Scorpio rules the root chakra, and it's all things that are hidden. It's trust, it's secrets, it's sex, it's things that are taboo, the occult. Um, Things that you typically are going to need to trust people before you do it in front of them, right? So, with this Scorpio new moon at 28 degrees, we know that 28 is numerology wise is all about abundance. You want to look in your chart to see where this is going to be taking place for you. So, Scorpio is also the phoenix. It is burning all the way down to nothing and then rising up from the ashes. I am a sun and the moon in the eighth house. So I am very scorpionic, okay? Very scorpionic. And a lot of Scorpios that I know, like they're going to have it all, they're going to lose it. Then they're going to have it, then they're going to lose it. So there is always this build up to lose it, to build back up energy. I know I've gone through the Phoenix. I have lost everything and had to be reborn again. Scorpio is also a very intuitive sign. It's very psychic. When it comes to the planets and psychic gifts, I feel Pluto is one of the most powerful ones when it comes to gifts, okay? So, if you got Pluto in the eighth house, you got Pluto in Scorpio. You're one of those that's very psychic. You will know people are pregnant before they do. Like that kind of psychic energy, okay? Now, without further ado, let's dive into the chart, shall we? Oh, where did my little icon go? Share. See it now. Share screen options. So Scorpio is the scorpion. And one of the biggest things that I can tell you about Scorpio energy is 9 times out of 10, they're going to sting themselves before they truly sting others. With this being a Mars and Pluto ruled moon, you know, Mars is all about action, it's all about passion, it's all about sex. But then there's the anger, aggression, the pew pew, boo boo parts of Mars, right? And Pluto is just a higher octave of that. Now, this Scorpio new moon is going to be packed with punch. Literally going to be packed with a punch because it's going to be taking place at 28 degrees of Scorpio. It's 28:11. And as you can see, Mercury is getting ready to join the party. So this new moon is going to take place on November 20th at 1:46 a.m. And shortly after we have this new moon, we're going to have Mercury and the Sun caziming. They're going to be in a direct opposition, really within a 1-degree orb of that opposition with Uranus. Now, we had the Mercury and the Uranus oppositions. The last one was at 10:29, and this was at 0 degrees of Sag and Gemini. Now, this one's going to be taking place with Uranus still at that 29-degree point. Thankfully, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon, they're all going to be conjunct on this one. So I'm hoping that things are pretty low-key. Keep in mind, with Uranus at that 29-degree point, there's a lot of things that can happen with the Earth. There's a lot of things that can happen with resources, with oil, with gas, food, you name it, okay? With this being a new moon, I'm really, really hoping that things go smoothly over the next 2 weeks. So far, things have kind of, I mean, it's not been chill by no means. However, it could be so much worse than what it has been just with the astrology. So I'm truly thankful that, you know, things haven't been quite as crazy as it could be. But now we're going to have the Sun, Moon, and Mercury also in a trine with Neptune. And Venus is going to be conjunct Poseidon in an exact trine with Kronos and trining the North Node. You know, when I was going through and doing my notes, getting ready, just writing down all the key dates that I needed, all the different, you know, transitions, because during this new moon lunation cycle, we're going to have 2 planets stationed direct. Thank God. Because right now we have 5 planets retrograde. We have Mercury retrograde. We have Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter. Jupiter's still in that square with Chiron. That square is going to start getting a little tighter over the next few days. because Jupiter is going to finally move, because Jupiter's been stuck at that 25-degree point, it feels like forever. So Jupiter's going to retrograde back to that 24-degree point and be in an exact square with Eris and almost in an exact square with Chiron. Now, are you embracing your shadow side? Are you embracing your sacred sexuality? Are you embracing who you truly say you are? Do you have trust issues, or do you trust too easy? Are you naive? Like Scorpio energy is able to kind of sniff out those people that are just fake as fuck. You know, it's almost like a walking lie detector. And I get it, and I resonate deeply with Scorpio energy because I am a sun and a moon in the 8th house. That's Scorpio's house. And it's also about shared resources. So there's been a lot of talk about this money that's supposed to be coming in with the tariffs as part of giving back to the people. It would be nice to see that actually come into fruition. And it would be nice to be able to hear of some of those things. But now keep in mind, because we do have all this energy in Scorpio, and this is all, water is feminine energy. Okay, feminine is dark. Feminine is intense. It is deep. It is wild. It is untameable. Tameable. And then we have all this energy in Pisces and all this energy in Cancer. We do have Venus conjunct Poseidon, trining Kronos, Hades, and the North Node. So I do feel this day holds the potential to us seeing a lot of breaking news, a lot of news on the water, a lot of news as far as our resources, as far as the earth, as far as that money that's supposed to be coming in. But now we do still have Neptune retrograde at 29 degrees. So, just be mindful. I do feel there's still a lot of propaganda that's being spewed our way. I don't feel like they're being 100% honest with us. As much as they try to say they're transparent, I just don't feel that they are. Maybe I'm wrong. We still have Jupiter and Saturn, not in an exact trine. However, they're still in a trine. And I do want to know, because I feel like this is going to kind of sneak up on us just a little bit over the next 2 weeks. We're going to have Mars working into squaring the nodes. And we're really going to start feeling this over the next few days. We still have Uranus in a sextile with Neptune. And the Sun and the Mercury cazimi is going to be exact at 4:22 a.m. And we're still going to be in that opposition with Uranus. The Moon, shortly after that, is going to ingress into Sagittarius. Now, how can you work with this energy on a personal level? Really, take an honest look. Look at your root chakra. Look at your money. Look at how much you trust people, how much you don't trust people. Look at those things, those areas, specifically with Chiron squaring Jupiter. Like, are you really taking an honest look at your own wounds when it comes to generational healing, when it comes to childhood healing? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you doing the work? Are you spiritually bypassing? Now, we're all going to feel this in different ways because it's going to be hitting different aspects of our charts. However, ground, okay? Try not to get too wrapped up in your emotions. All this water energy can be extreme crimes of passion. if you Google the top serial killers and their zodiac signs, you're going to see that Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are in the top 3. And it's dark, it's feminine. Like, water can cleanse you, but it can kill you too, you know? So I'm thankful that we don't have any. We do have Mars just going to move into 18 degrees during this cycle. And we might see some things kind of kick up then. However, I feel the biggest thing that we're going to be feeling is going to be this square here. Now, keep in mind, we are still not at that exact point of where that eclipse was at 15 degrees. However, Saturn I think that was year before last. Holy shit. This will take me forever to pull it up. It was September 7th, 2024. I thought so. Okay. So it was at 25 degrees, 41 minutes. So as soon as Saturn turns on, it's going to go back over that point. And then now, February 17th, we're going to start the Aquarius and Leo axis. And we'll finish up with the Virgo, and that's going to be at 12 degrees. And then in August, we're going to have the Leo one. And then also in August, we're going to have the last Pisces. There will be one more Virgo eclipse, February 20th, 2027. So hold on, because when that spot gets activated, there's going to be some fated things that transpire. And we will not see that until probably the next moon cycle, once Saturn turns back on and actually starts moving. Right now, Saturn's not moving at all because Saturn's going to station in about 7 days. So on November 21st, we're going to have the sun enter Sagittarius, and this is going to take place at 20:36 p.m. So this is going to be 8:36 p.m. Eastern time zone. And so I pulled the chart, and you're going to see, like, within 24 hours, Mercury's scooting on by, getting ready for its conversation with Venus. Now, the sun is going to oppose Uranus at 7:25 a.m. The sun's going to be at 29 degrees 26. Uranus is going to be 29 degrees 26. And the moon is going to be conjunct Mars. And as you can see, working into that square with the nodes. Anytime the nodes are aspected, specifically when Mars starts getting into this square, we're going to see fated things transpire, action, towers, movement, redirection, okay? Mercury is going to be at 26 degrees now. The sun is also going to trine Neptune at 29 degrees 28. So literally not even 35, 40 minutes after this exact opposition. This is going to be a day. This is going to be a day. We're going to see many twists and turns. We're going to see a lot of things happen with money. We're going to see things be dropped with resources. We're going to see a lot brought up, okay? And the reason being, because if you remember my Mercury retrograde video with Mercury trining Neptune, that was the trade deal with South Korea. That was when the feds cut the rates, and that was also when the Tanzanian overthrew the government and war broke out. So we're going to have the sun get into that exact degree. I'm going to start trining Neptune, still opposing Uranus, getting ready to ingress into Sag. So Venus is going to be at 18 degrees. I feel like on this day, we could definitely, there could be a lot of towers that transpire. I'm hoping it's easy. We can even hear more about crypto, what's going on there. I mean, it was just released today that after it was named that Jeff Epstein was connected to Bitcoin, people started jumping ship, as they should, you know. And I've always known that Bitcoin was not the one to go with. However, it was one of the first ones, so that everybody jumped on that ship. So I've known for a really long time that that was going to be one that it was just not going to last. Jupiter's going to retrograde back to 2459, and this is going to take place at 12:50 a.m. So about 10 till 1 a.m. And then the nodes are going to move to 1459 at 22:18 p.m. There's going to be a lot of energy moving. There's going to be a lot of transitions this day. There's going to be a lot of endings this day. There holds the potential to be in a lot of towers this day, specifically as Jupiter gets into that tighter square with Chiron. Even Jupiter square in Aries. The sun's going to move into Sag at 20:36 p.m. And this is going to be 8:36 p.m. So we're going to have a lot of transition in the morning. We're going to have a lot of transition in the evening as well. This moon conjunct Mars, Venus being in 18 degrees, the sun opposing Uranus, trining Neptune. Be prepared. There could be a lot that transpires. On 11/22, the moon is going to be finishing up its time in Sag and getting ready to ingress into Capricorn. Mercury and Venus are going to be getting closer to their time, having their conversations together. Mercury is going to be trining Saturn At 13:45, they will be in an exact trine. As you can see, the nodes are already at 14 degrees. And I was thinking about this. Y'all remember like at the end of summer, the nodes were like at 18 degrees for almost 2 months. And it's like now we're just going through these nodes like so it's just like moving along so fast. I can't believe that the nodes have already moved to 14 degrees. And then shortly after Mercury trines Saturn, we're going to have Mercury trine Jupiter at 1837. So keep in mind, just a reminder with my Mercury retrograde video that I did, the U.S. met with China with the last Mercury and Jupiter trine that we had. And the UN urged Izzy to open the border up in Rafah. So we're already hearing a little bit about what's going on there. And Izzy not following the ceasefire deal. And trade tensions started to develop or build up with Canada as well. So this was also when the ceasefire was made. And it doesn't surprise me that we're getting ready to actually have these trines and they're already talking about how the ceasefire has been broken. I mean, I just saw the news article today. So I'm hoping that some things truly happen for the good of humanity and we're able to really make it last. This is going to be another one of those these days that shit could truly hit the fan. So listen to your intuition because the sun's still going to be in that opposition with Uranus. They're only going to be within a 1-degree orb. The moon's going to be finishing up its time in Sag and ingressing into Capricorn. And it will ingress into Capricorn at 17:53 p.m. Now on 11/23, we're going to have the sun sextile Pluto. So this is going to be great for we could even hear some changes happening with travel. We could hear a lot brought up around the global leaders, specifically connected to this whole JE situation that has been brought to light with all the emails. Now, I truly believe this is just the beginning, you guys. This is just the beginning. We're going to hear so much, it's not even funny. We're going to see so much, it's not even funny. And it is going to be one of those things that's going to have to be slowly released because if everybody knew the level and the detail of how deep and dark this truly is, it would truly be a nightmare. No joke. So on 11/23, we're going to have Venus at 21 degrees and Mercury now at 24 degrees. Keep in mind, they're going to have their conjunction on 11/24. The moon is going to start working into a trine with the south node and then start working into its opposition with Jupiter. The sun is still in that trine with Neptune. So this isn't going to be the easiest day. However, there could be a lot that happens with the earth this day. Keep in mind there was a volcano that erupted yesterday, and then someone sent me information about a volcano having so much activity that they're concerned that it could erupt you know, I hope that's not the case. I hope everything goes well. However, just keep an eye out. Now, with the sun sextiling Pluto, there could be heightened gifts. There could be sudden awakenings, there could be sudden downloads, there could be sudden epiphanies, sudden insights. There could be a lot of prophetic visions that take place. So keep that in mind. On 11/24, which I've already prepared you guys for 11/24, I did that in my Mercury retrograde. The last time we had Mercury conjunct Venus is going to be conjunct Venus again. This time, this conjunction is going to be at 22 degrees. And they're only going to be within a 2-degree orb of trining Jupiter, 3-degree orb of trining Saturn. The sun is now going to be at 3 degrees. Mars is now officially going to be at 14 degrees and is going to be squaring the nodes. This is the day that I feel we could see some things truly happen with the money, okay? The last time this conjunction, Venus and Mercury conjunction, took place was on 3/11/2025, so this was back in March. The sun was also conjunct Saturn on this day, and we had the solar eclipse, okay? This took place at 8:47, 8 degrees 47, and the Aries solar eclipse was at 8 degrees 59. Luckily, we're not going to have anything in Aries at that degree. And there was a drone strike in Ukraine. Now they're talking about possibly giving Russia all of the land that they wanted and providing support from the U.S. So we'll see how that goes. There was also talk that they were buying, Ukraine was getting military planes from the EU, possibly France, and I do believe that the UK is kind of working with them. I need you all to understand that Ukraine and Izzy are connected to a lot of what's getting ready to be exposed with JE. If you truly understood what those two countries were really behind, the fact that we support either one of them doesn't look good. The former Philippines president was arrested with the ICC, so there was a warrant out for his arrest. Putin has a warrant out for his arrest, and so does Yahoo. Y'all get my drift? And then we also had the stock market crash this day. So Venus and Mercury are going to be coming together in the sign of shared resources, Scorpio, at 22 degrees. Y'all know about those 22 degrees. Like, there could be some painful hits. There could be a lot of breakups. This is going to be one of the most fated days during this moon cycle because Mercury and Venus are going to be at that 22-degree point, that critical point, that kill or be killed degree, and Mars is going to be in an exact square with the nodes. And Venus and Mercury are going to conjunct on this day at 2051. So this is going to be at 8:51 p.m. Check your time zone. I'm on the East Coast. The sun is going to be out of that opposition with Uranus. And as you can see, Mars is getting ready to work into that trine with Chiron and Aries. Now, when that happens, that's going to be a little bit later, definitely not during this moon cycle, maybe towards the end of the moon cycle. It's going to get up to 21 degrees. I didn't write down the degrees. I just wrote that they were conjunct. Close to 20. So not quite this cycle, but after that. So it's going to be roughly 3 weeks away. We'll have that. So there's definitely, there could be a lot of wounds. There could be a lot transpire as far as the military once we get closer to that. But it's going to be a great time to really put into action the work needed to truly heal yourself, your identity. We've all kind of gone through a major Phoenix, really taking an honest look at our identity because Aries rules I am. Now, I did not pull the chart for November 25th, but I do want to note that the moon is going to ingress into Aquarius at 5:16 a.m. and the moon will conjunct Pluto at 8:44 a.m. Every time we have this conjunction, there is sudden awakenings within the collective. And the more that we revisit these files and what's been going on behind the scenes, all the secrets, there's going to be so many more awakenings. Like at this point, the level of people that we have awake to be able to ascend is well past what we needed. So on 11/26 at 11:31 a.m., we're going to have Venus trine Jupiter. Jupiter is at 24 degrees. And Venus, where's she at? Is going to be at 24 degrees. As you can see, Venus and Mercury are going to talk real quick, and then they're going to keep on moving on. Mercury is starting to slow down because Mercury is going to station at 20 degrees. So Mercury and Venus are going to be conjunct for a hot minute. Because keep in mind, in 3 days, Mercury's going to station direct. The moon is going to be at 15 degrees at this point of Aquarius. Now, I love when the moon is in Aquarius. That's my moon sign. I feel more in a natural state when the moon's in Aquarius. Now, at 18:47 p.m., so this is 6:47 p.m., Venus is then going to start trining Saturn. Now, on the 27th, so the very next day, we're going to have Saturn station direct. So on the 27th, we're going to have Saturn station direct. And then on the 29th, we're going to have Mercury station. So 1, 2, 3. We've got a week, 1 week left of 5 planets being retrograde. 27th, Saturn's going to station. Saturn's going to turn back on. And then on the 29th, Mercury's going to station. Mercury's going to turn back on. So the moon is going to be conjunct Pallas. And Mercury will now be at 21 degrees. Mars is going to be conjunct Lilith. There could be a lot of arguments. We just had Mars conjunct Lilith in Scorpio, and that's a very deep, like, I'm going to slit your throat energy. And when Mars is conjunct Lilith in Sag, it can be a little risque. So on November 27th The moon's going to ingress into Pisces at 14:24 p.m. And Saturn's going to station at 22:53 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And Mars and Lilith are still going to be conjunct. So Jupiter and Saturn are still within that 1-degree orb. And Saturn's going to be hanging out at this 25-degree point for just a little bit before it actually starts picking back up. Mars and Lilith are going to be at 17 degrees. And as you can see, Juno's joining the party. Now, Venus is at that 26-degree point and is within a 2-degree orb of that opposition with Uranus. So whatever starts when Mercury and Venus conjunct at 22 degrees, when Venus opposes Uranus, we could see a lot of things happen. There could be even more things come up with the banks, crypto, stock market, all that. On November 29th, we're going to have Mercury station direct. Yahoo! So then we're only going to have 3 planets that are retrograde, and this is going to be Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter. Thank God. Now, I didn't pull a chart for the 28th, so I just want to go backwards just a little bit. On the 28th, we're going to have the first quarter square, and this is going to be at 9 degrees of Pisces. So Mercury's going to station at 12:39 p.m. And as you can see, it's going to station at 20 degrees, 42. Venus is going to be at 28 degrees, only within a 1-degree orb of that opposition with Uranus when that station happens, only within a 1-degree orb of that trine with Neptune. Now, the moon's going to be conjunct Saturn. I do feel that we'll have some news delivered this day, specifically after Saturn stations direct. Mars is going to be at 18 degrees. This is one of those days that I truly feel something major could happen at some of the colleges. Something major could happen as far as travel, as far as something around the globe. The moon's going to ingress into Aries at 8:07 p.m. So it's going to have its talk with Saturn. It's going to conjunct Saturn and then conjunct Neptune and then instantly ingress into Aries. And then at 21:48 p.m., Venus is going to be in that exact opposition with Uranus. There could be a lot of breakups this day. There could be a lot of towers. This Mercury oppose Uranus, Sun oppose Uranus, and now Venus oppose Uranus. We could definitely see some upheaval. Truly. Be careful when you travel. Luckily, we're going to be out of Mercury retrograde because Mercury is going to be stationed. However, we're still going to be in the shadow period. So do a gut check when you travel. So we're still going to be in the square with Chiron, okay, with Jupiter. Oh, you know what? I didn't pull the chart. Did I not do one? WTF? Oh, I didn't do it. Well, shit. So on 11:30, we're going to have Venus trine Neptune. And this is going to take place at 3:47 a.m. The moon's going to be in Aries. Mars is still going to be at that 18-degree point. Lilith is now going to be retrograde. And Venus is going to ingress into Aries at 3:14 p.m. at 15:14 p.m. On December 12th, the moon's going to ingress into Taurus at 10:13 a.m. And then on December 2nd, we're going to have Venus sextile Pluto at 4:06 a.m. Now, this is when I truly feel that we're going to hear of some of the changes that's going on within the school system. We're going to hear of some of the new things that's being implemented. We're going to hear of some of the things that's being let go of. Keep in mind, guys, I was told 5 years ago that every single system was going to fall. So, of course, when I told people this 5 years ago, like, it's all going to fall, it's all going to crumble, it has to crumble in order for what's truly meant for humanity to be built. Everybody thought I was crazy, literally. But we're talking medicine, we're talking about corporations, we're talking about the government structures, we're talking about the food, we're talking about education. Like, Ghislaine's dad had his hand on publishing the books for our education system. Like, when's the masses going to realize that it's a good thing that we're seeing what we're seeing? You know, so many people are so upset. They're destroying our education. They're destroying this. They're destroying that. Do you want to learn from somebody that's had their hands in the books like that? Ghislaine Maxwell's daddy. So we're going to have Mars conjunct Juno. So this is going to feel really good. It's going to feel like there's love in the air. There could be a lot of excitement, a lot of passion. Now, keep in mind, when the moon ingresses into Taurus, it's going to square Pluto. And this is going to happen around the same time that Venus sextiles Pluto. So if towers are happening, it's because it's not from the divine. Let it go. Okay? What's meant for you will always be for you. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to beg it not to leave. You don't have to do any of those things, right? If things are leaving, let it go. So what is meant can show up. Now on 12/3, the moon is going to ingress into Gemini at 9:48 p.m. And then we're going to have the Gemini full moon on 12/4, and this is going to take place at 18:13, and this moon is going to be squaring the nodes. So then this new moon is going to be so unpredictable. There's going to be so many twists and turns. There's going to be so many things that are brought to light. So many things that are brought to light. There's going to be towers. It's going to happen fast, okay? But it's forcing people to talk about things that need to be discussed, okay? It's truly forcing people to talk and have these conversations about some of the things that have been ruling our lives. Like, do you really want your kids to learn from books that Ghislaine's dad had his hand in? Think about that. I mean, that's kind of like once you understand everything about King James and everything about him, you don't want to have anything to do with the translation that he wrote as far as spiritual guidance. You know, we're going to continue to see a lot of things within religion be exposed and brought to light. The Pope was mentioned multiple times in those emails. And people are going to see that it's not just one party here in the US. This is global. This is every walk of life. This is every country. It's global. All right. Give me some cards for those watching. Secrets are going to be revealed. Scorpio rules secrets. So, oh, it feels like there's some doubt, limited beliefs, or maybe you're just not seeing how love is going to come together. Mm. Oh, Tower. Okay, so I get the Eight of Swords with the Two of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Then I get the Three of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles and the Tower. Now, the Queen of Pentacles has her back to the Tower. So this is happening now. There could be, give me two more to show the outcome, please. Well, we definitely got the Scorpio energy coming in strong for sure. We get the Tower and the Death card. Like, so I can read this a couple of different ways. If you're in a relationship, you might not be able to see a way forward. You might feel like there's no way to continue moving forward, like it's just ran its course. You've lost your fun. The Tower's here. There could even be a third party situation. And it's just really time to put your own hopes, wishes, dreams first and just let it be over. Then I can also read it another way that you don't see what's coming in. You don't see the things that you've asked for. And it could come in so fast that it feels like a tower. It feels like it knocks you off your feet. It feels like this is the transformation. This is what I've asked for. And the reason why I say transformation is because I do have the Death card. But I've got the Three of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles and the Tower. Then I get the Nine of Cups, the Star with the Death card. So let's clarify the Tower. Clarify the Tower for me, please. Oof, okay. So this almost feels like maybe There's either some healing that's taking place, or, as I said about the Three of Clubs, there was somebody else that you didn't know about that's brought to light. Could be stalker, feminine, younger. Now, I can also read this because the Ace of Swords is, I'm sorry, the Page of Swords is all about writing words, messages. Because I do feel that I'm tapping into two storylines right now. This could also be something that you've asked for with the moon cycle. And I get the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, something that you've asked for with the moon cycle. Divine masculine. Healing. I got the Queen of Pentacles underneath again. Grounding, grounded. Knight of Pentacles. A lot of Virgo energy, so earth energy. I got a lot. Got a lot of Scorpio, Aquarius, a lot of earth energy, Virgo, Aries, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, obviously. So I do feel that this is something that's been asked for, something that's healing, divine masculine energy, okay? Because I get the Ten of Pentacles with the Emperor and the Hermit along with the Knight of Pentacles. So I've got double Virgo energy showing up. Very grounded. It's what you've hoped for. It's what you've wished for. The healing, the transformation. But you don't see it. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? Things are definitely moving forward. Stay firm on your boundaries. Listen to your intuition. Keep doing what you're doing. But it definitely does feel like this is something that has been asked for. This is something that you put the order in. This is something that you definitely wrote down. And I love the progression from the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. There's a lot of pentacles here. So this is telling me that this is going to be grounded into the 3D reality. So, happy Scorpio New Moon, beautiful souls. I will be holding my Scorpio New Moon Healing Circle on 11/20 at 4:30 p.m. You can find the link to join below. And that's going to be 4:30 p.m. Eastern time zone. I did keep this one a little short this time. I've been battling a lot of sickness, and it's just been really, really tired. So I had to do what I could, and I did want to show up for you guys. I did want to put something out, but I was just not able to do as much as I typically do because it just takes a lot of time. You know, I spend a good 2 to 3 hours going through the charts, writing down my dates, my times, taking note of everything, making sure I've got all my charts, and it's very time consuming before I even get on here to make this. So I didn't want to not show up for you all, but hopefully I'm on the mend. I've been doing my fire cider and my garlic and honey. I've been around so much sickness and it's kind of wore me out. Like my body has definitely been fighting it, and it could be so much more worse than what it is. So I'm so thankful that it's not as bad as it is. However, it's definitely taken a lot out of me. The extreme fatigue has been the hardest part because, oof, like nonstop, just exhausted. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks, I'll be back to my spunky self, full of energy and full of life. So I love you all. I hope you all have an amazing uh, new moon lunation cycle. Make sure you plant some seeds, use this energy wisely, and we've just got a few more days to go, and we'll be out of the deep part of this retrograde season. So I love you all. Have an amazing 2 weeks, and I'll see you for my dailies. All right. Bye.